Ang pangalang Jesus. Amen and amen.
You may now take your seats. May we call on Mayor Roberto Llamas Arsenue for his welcome remarks.
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster, Mr. President Rodrigo Roa Duterte, visitors, ladies and gentlemen, magandang hapon po sa inyong lahat. Kanina, nung paglapag ng helicopter ni President Duterte, halos mapaiyak ako. Mapaiyak ako sa tuwa sapagkat nakadating ang ating mahal na presidente dito sa bayan ng Sual. On behalf of the people of Sual, Mr. President Rodrigo Roa Duterte and party visitors, I welcome you to this scenic and historic town of Sual. Scenic because we have beautiful hills and mountains overlooking the deep blue sea of Sual Bay and the Lingayen Gulf. Historic because during the Spanish time, Sual was a subport of Manila. In 1856, the government of the Spanish government in the Philippines declared Sual as international seaport. And if you notice and observe, ang Sual ay nakakaiba sa ibang mga bayan. Ang mga ibang bayan, ang pangalan nila, yung pangalan ng santo. Dito sa Sual, iba kasi Sual in Arabic words means seaport. Sapagkat noon, long time ago, ang Sual ay ang Arabs ay nakikipagnegosyo dito sa Pilipinas. Ang isang pinupuntahan nila ang harbor ng Sual. Kaya Sual means seaport sa Arabic word. Mr. President, yung mga karamihan ng tao dito to meet you ay taga Sual. They want to see you personally. They want to go near you kasi idol ka ng mga tao sa Sual. I know you have a very heavy schedule, tight schedule, but you came to visit Sual and to send off formally the Vietnamese fishermen. And this gesture of goodwill shows that the diplomatic ties of Vietnam and the Philippines will become closer. Kaya Sual in 2000, year 2000, was a fourth-class municipality. Now, this year or 3 years ago, Sual is a first-class municipality. Sual is fortunate, Mr. President, because we host the biggest power plant in the Philippines, the Sual power plant. The capacity is 1,218 megawatts. It is operated and owned by Team Sual, a Tokyo Electric and Marubeni Corporation, Marubeni Joint Venture Corporation. So, with the income that we derive from the Sual power plant, Sual is now first class in the region or in the Philippines. A memorandum of agreement with TransAsia, now the FINMA Energy Corporation. FINMA Corporation will construct another 900 megawatts in Sual, so that the electricity that we supply to the Luzon grid will become 2,118 megawatts. And to protect our and preserve our environment in Sual, I have an agreement with San Miguel Energy Corporation and Philippine Coconut Authority to plant 1 million trees in Sual. And I also signed a memorandum of agreement with DENR this year to plant 150,000 trees. And we have planted already 100,000 trees. And this coming December, we will plant 150,000 to complete this agreement. Now, Mr. President, we are in the area of our newly constructed causeway. The length of this causeway is 280 meters by 11 meters wide. And it is a dream of the people of Sual, long-time dream, that in the future we will have a international seaport. Pero sa kakulangan ng pundo ng municipality Sual, hanggang causeway lang kami. Hanggang 6.5 meters lang kami ang draft ng aming causeway. Kaya gusto naming i-extend ito ng 300 meters to reach the canal, and we will reach the 12 meters draft para yung malalaking vapor ay darating na dito sa Sual at magiging international seaport na kami. This will be realized very soon, Mr. President. At pag nangyari itong international seaport, pag nagawa na itong international seaport sa Sual, I am advancing to you, Mr. President, that you will be our guest of honor and to cut the ribbon and to inaugurate the international seaport of Sual. God willing, sabi ni President Rodrigo. So, Mr. President, I would like to wish you, always that you will have a healthy, good health. And I pray to God, our kind Almighty, that He will always protect and guide you in all your undertakings, so that you will be successful in all your projects for the welfare of the Filipino people. Mabuhay ang ating mahal na Presidente Rodrigo Roa Duterte. Mabuhay ang Sual. Mabuhay ang Pangasinan. Mabuhay ang First District ng Pangasinan. Mabuhay tayong lahat.
Thank you, Mayor Arsenue. May we call on the DSWD Secretary Judy M. Tagiwalo for her message.
Thank you, Mr. President, Your Excellency, mga kapwa, servants of the people, elected officials and appointed officials, our guests from Vietnam, our friends. It is my honor to be among you today and be a part of this historic exercise of goodwill between the Philippine government led by our President Rodrigo R. Duterte and the citizens of Vietnam as represented by our 17 fishermen friends. The Department of Social Welfare and Development is the Philippine government's main welfare agency that is tasked to initiate acts of compassion to address emergency situations faced by Filipinos. Today, here in Sual, we offer our assistance to the 17 Vietnamese fishermen who were forced to enter our waters to escape a storm so that they can be safe. It is my privilege as the Secretary of the DSWD, upon the instruction of the President, to extend assistance to our guests and wish them a safe trip as they leave for Vietnam to resume their lives with their families. We hope that the assistance given by the Duterte government will be accepted in the spirit that they are being given, with friendship and with hopes that our two governments continue to work together in strengthening our ties. Now more than ever, at these highly tumultuous and internationally politically charged times, it is important for us to stand united and show solidarity over issues and concerns of humanity. We have laws asserting territorial rights, but in implementing them, we should always factor in compassion and understanding, especially in dealing with our neighbors. Vietnam is our kapitbahay, our neighbor. It is very important that we never lose sight of the fact that we deal with each other as human beings with common needs and wants. Colleagues, friends, and guests, even as various political intrigues, economic conflicts, and even wars serve to divide us, We have to resist all this and take on a higher calling, that of uniting for the sake of humanity and advancing programs and actions for the interests of the poor and ordinary citizens. The Philippine and Vietnamese society share common histories of colonial oppression and of anti-colonial revolutions, and both our countries were able to survive the horrors of war through unity and determination. As members of one ASEAN community, we hope that we can look back on this shared history and work together to build stronger ties of unity that will benefit our peoples, especially our poor. We hope that our 17 guests whom we are sending off today will take this to heart, even as we Filipinos take this to heart. Our message today must be one of diplomacy, unity, and solidarity. Let us always exercise compassion even as we implement our laws. Let us stand united as members of ASEAN and as Asians. The Philippines and Vietnam are sovereign countries. We deal with each other on the principles of mutual respect, mutual benefit, and non-interference in our internal affairs. I bid our 17 fishermen good luck and Godspeed on their journey home. We wish you a happy reunion with your families and friends. Maraming salamat at mabuhay tayong lahat.
Thank you, Secretary Tagiwalo. Now may we call on the Bureau of Immigration Commissioner Jaime Morente for his briefing.
Mr. President, sir, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. I am tasked to give you a brief background of the events leading to our activity today. On September 8, 2016, 17 Vietnamese nationals aboard 3 separate vessels were intercepted and subsequently apprehended by the Philippine Navy for alleged poaching within Philippine waters off the shores of Santa Catalina, Ilocos Sur. Complaints were subsequently filed before the Office of the Provincial Prosecutor, Ilocos Sur, for violation of Section 91 of RA number 8550 as amended by RA number 10654 against 16 of the 17 Vietnamese except for minor Do Tien Loy, who was referred to the Provincial Social Welfare Development Office. They were also charged before the BFAR Central Office for the same violation, and deportation cases were filed against them with the Bureau of Immigration for violation of Commonwealth Act number 613, or the Philippine Immigration Act of 1940 as amended. During the investigation, the Vietnamese explained that they did not intend to violate Philippine laws as they got lost and ended in Philippine waters. It is also only by necessity that they reached Philippine territory to protect themselves from the wrath of the then incoming storm, Ferdy and the Habagat. Upon return from his Vietnam trip, the President expressed the Philippines' willingness to assist the Vietnamese fishermen in their desire to return to their families in Vietnam as a sign of goodwill. Consequently, complaints filed with the Office of the Provincial Prosecutor of Ilocos Sur, as well as the administrative cases in BFAR, the Bureau of Immigration against the Vietnamese, were dismissed, and the release of the 3 fishing vessels was so ordered to facilitate the return to Vietnam. In a joint resolution, the heads and representatives of BFAR, PNP Maritime Unit, the Philippine Navy, PPA, BOC, DFA, PCG, PNP, NICA, and the Bureau of Immigration certified that the Vietnamese nationals and their vessels have no more legal impediments and are cleared of administrative liabilities. For humanitarian considerations, Secretary of Justice Vitaliano N. Aguirre II likewise issued a memorandum to the Bureau of Immigration to allow the departure of the 17 Vietnamese nationals back to their country without being blacklisted nor be subjected to any fine or penalty. The memorandum served as the final clearance for the Vietnamese to return to their country. They were initially scheduled to fly via Philippine Airlines courtesy of Philippine government, but they requested through the Embassy of Vietnam that they go home via their fishing vessels. And so we have the symbolic send-off as a sign of our hospitality and wish well our brothers who sought refuge in our country in a time of imminent danger. Thank you and mabuhay tayong lahat.
May we invite the President and the Secretary Tagiwalo for the distribution of tokens to the Vietnamese fishermen. Ito po yung laman ng token na bibigay po nila ay tissue, paper, toothpaste, mouthwash, shampoo, alcohol, shave, toothbrush, body soap, comb, laundry. Okay. Okay. Now we call on the names.
Đinh Thiên Sơn. Anh bước lên sân khấu đi anh Đinh Thiên Sơn. Okay, he's the one.
Okay, okay. Go. Take up things.
Đinh Thiên Sơn, boat captain. Trần Hữu Phúc, crew. Okay. Nguyễn Gió, crew. Yeah, okay. Huỳnh Thanh Thắng, crew. Huỳnh Thanh Thắng. Đỗ Thanh Lợi. Võ An. Mabilis na tayo. Võ Thiên. Apa? Wait po, kasi hindi pa tapos ay nalakaw na tayo po. Nguyễn Duy Cường. Nguyễn Văn Phương. Phạm Hữu Thùy. Trần Hoàng Kim. Huỳnh Ngọc Tuấn. Bùi Văn Lượng. Bùi Văn Liêm. Lê Thanh Trung. Lê Tiến. Trần Hữu Trung.
Kahapon po ay nalagyan na po ng 123 kilo ng assorted vegetables ang kanilang barko 10 kilo ng karning baka, 3 galon ng cooking oil, 3 tanks of LPG each, tatlo po yan, 20 rounds of bottles of drinking water, 5 gallon each, 2 tons of fresh water, 3 cavans of rice, 90 blocks of ice, and 3,000 liters of diesel. Yan po ay galing lahat sa opisina po ng ating Pangulo, President Rodrigo Roa Duterte. Yan. Habang nagbigay din po ang DSWD ng additional na pabaon sa ating mga kaibigang Vietnamese, hygiene kits, 3-in-1 coffee, 50 kilogram of rice, bottled mineral water, cooking oil, malong, cup noodles, and water repellent jacket. Yan. Ito po ang isang pagbibigay ng isang nakagawian ng Pilipino, yung pagbibigay ng pabaon. Kaya sino pong gustong pumunta sa Vietnam, pipila na rin po. Hindi, kulang sila eh. Okay, ito na. English yun. Ano lang. Thank you, Mr. President. Secretary Tagualo, may we call on... Thank you very much, Mr. President and Secretary Tagualo. May we call on the Vietnamese ambassador to the Philippines, His Excellency Trong To Yang.
His Excellency Rodrigo Duterte, President of the Republic of the Philippines, Honorable Secretaries, Commissioner, Mayors, Congressmen, I'm deeply moved today. And it is a great honor for me also to witness the send-off of 17 Vietnamese fellows. They are fishermen and they are Vietnamese nationals. They have been here for not very long, and they are really lucky that today, by order of His Excellency President Duterte, they are free to return home on their own vessels with all fuel and food and other supplies, perhaps even more than enough, provided by the Philippine government. It was not long ago when President Duterte visited my country, Vietnam, during his meeting with my president. His Excellency President Duterte came to know the plight of 29 Vietnamese fishermen who were caught on 8 September this year inside the territorial waters of the Philippines. Kind and generous as he has always been, in view of the good relationship between the Philippines and Vietnam, especially when the two countries have become strategic partners, without hesitation, he promised that he would order the immediate release of those fishermen and offer them all necessary provisions that they can return home safely. And today, together we are here to witness that such a promise has been brought to reality. would like to take this opportunity, first of all, to convey my President, His Excellency Trần Đại Quang's profound gratitude to His Excellency President Duterte for the swift and steadfast realization of his promise. We, the Vietnamese people, especially the fishermen, who are now going to return home today, as well as their family members, would forever in debt of such an act of goodwill, a kind and humanitarian gesture by you, Mr. President, and the Philippine people. I'd like to express our gratitude to all concerned authorities in the Philippines, especially the Bureau of Immigration and Deportation, the Department of Justice, the Bureau of Fisheries and Aquatic Resources for their concerted efforts in facilitating the release of the captured Vietnamese fishermen. For the Ilocos Sur and Sual authorities and people, I would like to express, on behalf of our fishermen and their families, our deepest gratitude for allowing them to stay in your home. I'm glad to see that all are in good shape as they say farewell to you and depart for home today. All of you have truly been the good reflection of human compassion, and I believe our fishermen shall forever treasure your kindness and hospitality during their short yet enriching stay here in the Philippines. Your Excellency, Mr. President, you have done more than words can express. Therefore, I would like to close my remarks of gratitude here and wish you all the best and great success and in your noble cause for the prosperity of your people. Once again, thank you, maraming salamat, and mabuhay.
Thank you very much, Ambassador Trong Tu Yong. May we call now on Commissioner Morente to introduce our President.
Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome the President of the Republic of the Philippines, President Rodrigo Roa Duterte.
Thank you. Kindly sit down. Itong si Morente used to be my city police director sa Davao. Isa rin siyang nademanda noon sa extrajudicial killing. Pero hindi totoo yan. Man, Lucano ka ba, Bong? Kasi karamihang ang sundalo natin kasi sa Pilipinas, dalawa lang. It's either the Ilonggo or Ilocano. Yan lang. Ito lang yung talaga sumasabak ng Bohol, Cebu, Leyte, wala yan. Walang nagsusundalo. Ay kukunti lang, if at all. But we get most of our reserves soldiers from the Iloilo region and itong Ilocano territory. Yan ang pinakamaraming sundalo, pati opisyal natin. And they have served well Davao. Marami yan sila dito. And even Admiral Casilian, mista ko, he's over there, he's from Pangasinan. He used to captain siya ng noon sa Naval District 7, if I'm correct. The ambassador from Jungyong of the Vietnamese country, Secretary Delphine Lorenzana, Ilocano rin ito. si Secretary Tagiwalo, Ilocano ka rin, ma'am? Ilonggo, linte nga eh. Sorry. Secretary Esperon is from here. Representative Leopoldo Batuil is also from here. Si Mayor Amado Espino III, of course. Kasama ko sa mga trabaho sa gobyerno. Then Lieutenant General Duvi Miranda, the Vice Chief of Staff. If he's Hi, sir. Welcome. Ilocano rin. Basi ang Davao Ilocano na. Doon na lahat eh. You know, today we live in a very complicated international relations. Global and lahat. You know, the EU would want the best for them, and sometimes they intrude into our path. And ito namang America wanted to control both sides of the Atlantic and Pacific. Gusto nila yung Pan-Pacific partnership. These are the things that affect us, itong maliliit. On the ultimate, at the end of the day, ang lugi nito itong mga maliliit. Yung mga mayaman na nations, for example, they want to mga ISO and a lot of so many things that makes it harder for us to survive. That is why we place importance sa ASEAN. It's tayo neighboring each other, and ito we have to sometimes do something to protect our interest. Kasi may APEC na, then there's another WTO, at saka mayroon pang iba. And these are actually all impositions on our government. Kung sabay-sabay lang sana tayong umakyat sa civilization na ganon, okay lang. But you know, other countries, I said, invaded other territories and made them colonies, Philippines, Vietnam, lahat. Vietnam was almost 1,000 years under China. Ganyan ang laro ng geopolitics. But one thing that we should not forget is that tayong mga Orientals, importante sa atin yung self-respect, dignity. Kasi nga tayo, kung mahingiin tayo and we propose something, halos pabulong na eh. Pare, may sabihin sana ako kasi huwag kang magalit ha. O baka magalit ka. Pwede ba itong ganito? Ganon tayo. The Orientals have this respect for another fellow human being. Kaya tayo ganon. Kung sila napunta ako roon sa Vietnam, I talked to the President, I talked to the Prime Minister and everybody. We always do it almost in whispers. Kung magsalita tayo, hindi yung basta ganon ang style ng mamamura ko lang, wag na lang. Basta kung makiusap tayo, ganon na lang. And we treat ang pagtingin kasi natin, malalim ang tama natin sa reliyon sa respect for a fellow human being. Yun talagang sa atin. Baski na anong nationality, whether that be Chinese, Vietnamese, or Americans, we do it with almost utmost respect, even if it's really a prisoner or whatnot. Kaya ako dito, nung nalaman ko sila, sabi ko, no problem, Mr. President, I'll do my best to expedite. But you know, there are some procedures, actually by now, I'm sure, kasi na-aresto eh. So there will be some recorded incidents there. Mag-akyat na ito hanggang taas. But I will move it in a jiffy, magmadalian, pero give me time. And I'm very happy that I'm here to send off my fellow human being. Yan ang importante sa lahat eh. We treat our with utmost, hindi tayo basta ba. And that is why nabubugbog tayo. because we are not really the warlike people na prone to tigbasay ka agad ng istorya mo na which is always absent in Mindanao nowadays. Mind you, doon medyo matindi ang labanan. And I've been warning everybody in government that the next serious problem we will have is terrorism. They are now operating in Mindanao, yung Maote, and they were responsible for the bombing of Davao and the predations of other areas in Mindanao. Bantay kayo dyan because after drugs, which is really also the source of the problem now, with 4 million addicts and no money really to cope up. Kaya kung hindi nagtulong ang China, they have built at Fort Magsaysay a dormitory for drug addicts, good for about 10,000 people. But I would need that all over the country because there are about 4 million. Kaya ako nagagalit kasi ang mga ibang jurisdiction, hindi nila naintindihan, hindi tinitignan yung ano ang problema, hindi tignan nila ano ang mali natin o ano ang mali ko. Because I declared war against drugs. 4 billion drug addicts, all potential pushers, all potential criminals. Kung mayaman lang ito, naka-Forbes Spark lang, wala tayong problema, walang patayan. So, no crime. Because they have the money to spend. To use shabu to their death, okay lang. But ang problema, ang fix niya is, hahanapin pa niya sa kapwa-tao niya. Kundi mag-hold up, saksak, tapos mag-rape, kung bungog na kung anong ginagawa, pati mga bata, wala nang patawad. To us, this is a very serious problem. Kasi isang bata lang dyan, ma-rape 1-year-old, talagang kumukulo ang dugo natin. Were it not for the laws of God and men, gusto patayin mo talaga. Yan ang nakikita nila, yung 3,000 lang napatay. At may namatay dyan because of their encounters with the law enforcement authorities. Some were killed. Wala akong ano dyan. And I said there are a lot of policemen, mga generals pa. And I had to fire them because they were involved in drugs. Hindi na lang nila inisip yung there are about 4,000 policemen dyan sa yung pinakita ko. Sabi ko, this is the long and short of the story of the drug industry. Alam mo, nandito na tayo sa narco-politics. That is why we have to ask help from everybody, including our neighbors. We have to be nice and diplomatic for one, we are a Christian country. And second is that talagang we help each other. Ito, ano ba naman pagkakamali niyan kung if you happen to next typhoon, if you are drifting, come to Mindanao, we will welcome you. No problem. You can take your vacation there. Magbulong yung ambasador na may isa dito, may nakauyab raw ng Pilipina. Sino? Mabilis ito? Sino itong yawa na ito? Mabilis. Naka-girlfriend daw ng Pilipina. Well, good for you. I congratulate you. So yan ho ang ano natin, ang basic. Yung geopolitics pa naman, nag-iiba na. Nag-iiba ng just like Vietnam. Vietnam drove the Americans away in humiliation. Hindi na nadala itong Amerikano. Yung pasok-pasok nila, then they went inside Iraq on a pretext that there are weapons of mass destruction. Or there were, only to say at the end of the day after the fighting, wala kaming nakita. But they destroyed the country and they killed the leader. Yan ang problema sa arrogance ng... pati dito ako, let me just explain, wala man akong away. Alam ko karamihan tulong natin sa kanila. At bakit hindi? They stayed here for 50 years. God. Bakit di tayo natulungan? Why do we have to say thank you? You conquered, the Spaniards stayed there for what, 400 years? Then the Americans came. They lived off the fat of the land. And so, sabihin ninyo, tinutulungan. How about the 50 years na nagputol kayo ng kahoy dito? Got all the minerals. Wala ng gold. Ang gold na iwan, ilang araw mo. The mother loads, ika nga yung arterial, yung pinakananay ng gold, natanggal na nila. Ngayon, sabi nila na yung 26, kasi minura ko sila. Ganito kasi yan eh. The same, Oriental. Pag sinita mo ako, sitayan mo ako na, nung mayor ako, kasi noon pa sa mayor, bakbaka na kami doon eh, sa bayan ko. Sitayin mo ako, okay lang. Pero if you reprimand me now, please be careful with your tongue because I am representing a sovereign country. Mapapahiya ang mga Pilipino sa labas. Eh. Doon pala, patayan sa inyo. Talaga naman eh. Bakit hindi? Sinabi ko na sa inyong huminto ngayon. Tapos sabihin ka pa, we will cut off the assistance. Assistance dito, assistance doon putol. Para bagang every time you address yourself before the international arena, CNN, BBC, kung ano-ano, para ako na lang, wag na lang kayo, para akong patay gutom. Na I am like a dog on a leash na tatapunan ako ng pan, pero hindi ako paabutin ng bunganga ko sa pan. Hinihila kasi ito ang gusto niya. Na they want. Akala mo naman, sabi ko nga, if there is anybody who can tell me that what they did in Iraq undermined Libya and now trying to destroy Syria because Syria is pro-Russia and pro-China. Kaya hindi lang makuha, hindi lang matalo-talo si Assad. And if somebody here could tell me a good rationale or rationale if you may, sabihin mo sa akin, tama ang ginagawa nila dito, sa likod dito, I will resign as the President of the Republic of the Philippines. Totoo yan. Resign ako. Baliwala sa akin yan. Sabihin mo sa akin kung tama yung ginawa mo. You destroyed a country, killed the leaders, no weapons of mass destruction found. Dito, nakikialam pa sa 3,000 namatay. Ay dagdagan ko ng 50 milyan. Bahala ganyan. Ang sinisira nila, ang bayan natin, hindi na lang nila inisip ang mga bata. You know, if I do not interdict now, I would have compromised the next generation, ang mga lolo ng mga grandchildren nyo, pati anak niyo. Believe me. Kung hindi ako maggalaw ngayon, wala. Itatapo natin itong bayan natin sa read the books of Ion Cartel. Yung sa about the South America experience. Ganun na ganun. May nagpadala libro sa akin, you better watch out. Amerikano to ha. You better watch out, you're going there already. Kita mo sa cartel, nag-umpas siya ng Colombia. Escobar. Tingnan mo ang Mexico. Sa Mexico, sa border ng Mexico-America, American supplied guns, they killed by, at the latest counts, 60,000. Itong 1,000 ko itong mga... Yan ang problema ko sa Amerika. Believe ako sa kanila. Pero ang problema, nawalaan ako ng respeto. Kaya binabastos ko sila. Kasi binabastos na. Tingnan mo mga unggoy. Yung 26,000 na baril na bibili natin sa kanila, ayaw nang ipagbili. Tangina mo. Maraming dibomba sa amin dito. Loko-loko eh. Kung hindi kayo loko ang mga Amerikano, pati ba naman yan? Eh, ang Russia nagsabi, ang ambassador nila nagsabi, you come here to Russia, we all have what you want. Sabi ko kay John Esperon, sino ba yung East Wing natin? Si General Jagger? Guerrero. Sabi ko, pumunta ka ng Russia, mamili ka doon ng missile. Missile na lang tayo. Pero sabi ko kay kay Defense Minister, Secretary, pumunta kayo ng Russia. Kasi niyayaya talaga tayo. Pati ang China. China is open. Anything you want. Pinadalan pa akong brochure. Sabi niya, mamili ka dyan. Bigay namin. Ako nag-hold lang ako. Kasi tingnan ko ang military, ano ba sa inyo? May problema man tayo. Can you have the solution here? Because if you want to stick with America, fine. Pero tingnan ninyo mabuti, balansehin ninyo kasi binabastos tayo. Ngayon, sila atake sa akin. Kaya namura ko talaga nila. Wala na akong magawa. Because I was trying to explain the enormity of the problem. I was trying to tell all the people that we are near the edge. Malapit na tayo mahulog dito. And I'm explaining to everybody that in the war against drug, may mamamatay talaga. Imposible wala. Police pa iyo. Walang nalaman kung di magpatay. Lalo na yung encounter, talagang papatay ang kanyang mga buang na yan. Hindi magdadalawang isip yan eh. Kaya ganon. So, because of the 3 million all over the country, plus 1 million yung panahon ko ngayon, I had to call in the military to help. That's why I declared a state of lawlessness. Lawlessness naman. Marami. Meron ngayon, Manila, okay na. In other provinces, okay na. Davao, 0. Takot man mamatay. Yan pala ang solusyon eh. Itong Amerika na ito, kung makialam. Pero sabi ko, I'm not prepared to declare war. I have to, military. Tingnan niyo. Tingnan niyo yung problema. Anong gawin natin dito? Lumalaban talaga to. I'm losing 2 to 3 policemen or soldier a day. Bakit magkaroon ng eksado diyan? Dalawa, kahapon, dalawa. Dalawa. May sundalo, pulis. Nawawalan ako ng sundalo, pati pulis. If that is not a war against drug, then what is it? Ayan ang butit na lang, napunta rin ako dito, nakapagbungga ako. Kasi dapat ninyong maintindihan, hindi ako nag-ano ng Amerikano. Tapos sabi nila na you should be thankful na may nagbigyan tayo ng arma. 50 years, kayo ang nakikinabang sa aking bayan. Lahat ng mina hanggang ngayon, inyo. Lahat ng mga pineapple plantation sa Mindanao, inyo. Tapos maingay pa kayo. Putang ina ninyo. Galit ako eh. Sila yung nag-una eh. Huwag na hintuin natin. I'd like to send off our good friends. Forget about that. Pero pag sila ang ubusan ng gasolina, huwag ninyong tulungan yung mga Amerikano. Hayaan mo yung lutaw-lutaw yan. Lutaw-lutaw is drifting. Palutang-lutang pala. Lutaw-lutaw yan sa Bisaya. Lutang-lutang sa Tagalog. We are ready to, Mr. Ambassador, we are ready to send off your countrymen towards which direction? Maybe here? Yeah.
Going out in the Binigyan Golf Territory.
Okay, there's no more thing. We would like to send him off.
Sure. Thank you, Mr. President. We will have now the ceremonial send-off to our Vietnamese friend, may we call on the governor, the ambassador of Vietnam, the mayor, and the Commissioner Morente, DSWD Secretary Tagiwalo, and of course, other dignitaries that we have. This is just a ceremonial send-off. Kaya po, hindi pa po tapos ang ating programa. Manatili lamang po nakaupo. Manatili muna po kayo nakaupo. Hindi pa po tapos. Mr. President, the President is now giving all the travel documents for this Vietnamese fishermen, and now they're ready to leave our country. Yan. Yan po. We wish them that they will really reach their homeland para po makapiling na nila ang kanilang mahal sa buhay. Kaya samahan niyo po kami, ipanalangin po natin ang kanilang maayos na paglalakbay. Thank you very much, Mr. President, sa inyo pong ibinigay na tulong, ayuda at pagmamahal sa ating mga kapatid na Vietnamese fishermen. Yan. Okay. Ito na po. The President is now waving his hands to say goodbye to her. The President is now waving his hands to say goodbye to our friends. Yan, sila po ay sasamahan ng ating mga Philippine Navy hanggang sila po ay makarating doon po sa hangganan ng Philippine waters. Yan. Sisiguraduhin po na sila po ay mapayapa at maliwalas na makakarating sa hangganan ng ating katubigan. Samahan po natin ang panalangin ng ating mga kaibigang Vietnamese para naman po sila ay makarating sa kanilang sariling lupain at kanilang makasama ang kanilang mahal sa buhay. Maraming salamat po, Pangulong Rodrigo Roa Duterte. Okay, the President is waving his hands. Okay. The district mayors, including other district leaders, yan. Again, the President is waving his hands to say goodbye to our Vietnamese friends. Yan po, samahan na rin po natin siya. Kumaway na rin po kayo sa ating mga kaibigan. Yan. Maraming salamat po. Yan sa inyong natutuwa. Nasaan na siya? Hindi, nagpapapoto ko lang siya. Wala eh. Sabi ko nga, kulang pa sila. Sama na kayo. Wala, ang gapo mo. Ang gapo na oras na. Yan. Yan. Sa ngalan po ng aming mga kababayan, maupo na po tayo. Babalik na po sa upuan ang ating Pangulo. Maupo muna tayo. Sige po. At para sa... Maupo na po tayo. Maupo na po tayo. We will request, everybody na po, maupo muna. Take your seats muna. Yan. This concludes our program today. Once again, thank you very much, President Rodrigo Roa Duterte, for visiting our beloved town, Sual. Yan. May the mayors and the congressman of the first district will now. Thank you very much. Maraming salamat po. Palakpakan po natin President Rodrigo Roa Duterte.
Nakakaiba sa ibang mga bayan. Ang mga ibang bayan, ang pangalan nila, yung pangalan ng santo. Dito sa Sual, iba kasi Sual in Arabic words means seaport. Sapagkat noon, long time ago, ang Sual ay ang Arabs ay nakikipagnegosyo dito sa Pilipinas. Ang isang pinupuntahan nila ang harbor ng Sual. Kaya Sual means seaport sa Arabic word. Mr. President, yung mga karamihan ng tao dito to meet you ay taga Sual. They want to see you personally. They want to go near you. Kasi idol ka ng mga tao sa Sual. Ito sa bayan ng Sual. On behalf of the people of Sual, Mr. President Rodrigo Roa Duterte and party visitors, I welcome you to this scenic and historic town of Sual. Scenic because we have beautiful hills and mountains overlooking the deep blue sea of Sual Bay and the Lingayen Gulf. Historic because during the Spanish time, Sual was a subport of Manila. In 1856, the government the Spanish government in the Philippines declared Sual as international sea port. And if you notice and observe, ang Sual, I know you have a very heavy schedule, tight schedule, but you came to visit Sual and to send off formally the Vietnamese fishermen. And this gesture of goodwill shows that the diplomatic ties of Vietnam and the Philippines will become closer. Kaya Sual in 2000, year 2000, was a fourth-class municipality. Now, this year or 3 years ago, Sual is a first-class municipality. Sual is fortunate, Mr. President, because we host the biggest power plant in the Philippines, the Sual power plant. The capacity is 1,200.
Ang pangalang Jesus, Amen and Amen.
You may now take your seats. May we call on Mayor Roberto Llamas Arsenue for his welcome remarks.
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster, Mr. President Rodrigo Roa Duterte, visitors, ladies and gentlemen, magandang hapon po sa inyong lahat. Kanina, nung paglapag ng helicopter ni President Duterte, halos mapaiyak ako. Mapaiyak ako sa tuwa sapagkat nakadating ang ating mahal na presidente. 18 megawatts. It is operated and owned by Team Sual, a Tokyo Electric and Marubeni Corporation, Marubeni Joint Venture Corporation. So, with the income that we derive from the Sual power plant, Sual is now first class in the region or in the Philippines. A memorandum of agreement with TransAsia, now the FINMA Energy Corporation. FINMA Corporation will construct another 900 megawatts in Sual, so that the electricity that we supply to the Luzon grid will become 2,118 megawatts. And to protect our and preserve our environment in Sual,